There's a truth most people don't want to face. If others don't feel clarity, strength, and certainty in your voice, they won't trust you. They won't follow you, and they won't take action because of you.
You can have great ideas, deep experience, and real value.
But if the way you think and the way you speak doesn't reflect that, the world will never see your full potential.
Most people still believe communication is about sounding smooth or talking confidently.
But real influence doesn't come from being smooth.
It comes from clear thinking. It comes from calm authority. It comes from choosing strong, precise words.
It comes from controlling your tone, your breathing, your pacing, your timing, and knowing exactly when to speak and when to hold silence.
Many fall into the same exhausting loop, speaking before their thoughts are ready, explaining more because they weren't clear the first time, adding even more words because they fear they'll be misunderstood.
They talk long but don't talk sharp. They talk much but don't move anyone. They talk hoping to be heard instead of speaking with the intention to lead.
Meanwhile, leaders operate differently.
They think before they speak. They speak less but speak better. They choose their words like tools, sharp, intentional, necessary. They hold a calm, steady voice that commands attention.
They let silence work for them.
And people act not because they're pressured, but because they feel respect.
The difference between these two groups has nothing to do with talent, intelligence, or natural ability. The difference lies in four core pillars:
clarity in thinking, authority in tone, precision in language, and timing in delivery. When you understand these four pillars, every conversation becomes an opportunity to lead.
When you lack even one of them, your words lose their weight immediately. What you're about to hear is not a motivational talk. It's not meant to just sound good. This is real training, a sharpening of the mind, a refinement of your voice, a rebuilding of how you show up in the world.
You will learn how to organize your thoughts, how to control your voice, how to choose powerful words, how to manage your emotional tone, how to structure your message,
how to speak in a way that makes people act, and how to read the energy of the room so you always speak at the moment where your words matter most.
Throughout this journey, you will walk through 10 essential abilities for thinking, speaking, and influencing like a true professional.
Each chapter gives you a challenge to face, a core principle to remember, a visual image to hold, a practical shift to apply, self-reflection prompts to realign, and a punchline that lands like steel.
You don't need to speak loudly to be heard.
You don't need to sound perfect to earn respect.
You don't need to perform to gain influence.
You just need to speak clearly, think sharply, and show up with authority.
Step into this journey with calm focus and a willingness to elevate the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you move others. You don't need more.
You need clarity and strength. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Think clearly.
Before you speak, most people talk before they think.
And that single habit silently destroys their influence.
When your thoughts are scattered, your words become scattered. When your mind is foggy, your message becomes foggy. And when your ideas are half-formed, your impact becomes half-felt.
This chapter begins with a truth most people avoid. You cannot speak clearly until you learn to think clearly.
And clarity is the foundation of every professional communicator, leader, or influential voice you admire.
Many people believe communication starts the moment the mouth opens, but in reality, communication starts in the silence before the first word. It starts in the space where you gather your thoughts, shape your intention, and choose what truly matters. It starts with clarity. Inner clarity, long before the sound reaches the air.
You've seen people who speak endlessly but say very little. They circle around their point, adding more words to fill the gaps left by unclear thinking.
They talk faster because they feel unsure.
They explain more because their message is weak.
And somewhere in that spiral, they lose the room. Here's the painful truth. A long message is not a strong message. A clear message is most people don't fail in communication because they lack intelligence.
They fail because they're trying to organize their thoughts at the exact same time they're expressing them. The human mind is not designed to think, filter, refine, and deliver simultaneously with precision. That's why people ramble. That's why they repeat themselves. That's why they sound less confident than they actually are. Clarity is not a talent. Clarity is a discipline.
If your mind feels like a cluttered desk filled with unrelated notes, distracting thoughts, and emotional noise, your words will reflect that chaos.
But when your mental desk is clean, your priority is visible, your idea is sharp, and your delivery becomes purposeful. Imagine being asked a question during a meeting.
Most people panic internally and rush to answer, fearing that a pause will make them look unprepared. But rushing leads to over-talking, over-explaining, and under-delivering. The person who pauses even briefly gains power, not loses it. Because the pause is where clarity lives. The pause is where leadership begins. Great communicators don't speak faster.
They speak from a calmer, more organized mind. They take a breath, gather the essence of their thought, and release the sentence that matters.
And because the sentence is clean, the room listens. Think of your ideas like water. When water is stirred, it becomes cloudy. When you let it settle, it becomes clear. Your thoughts behave the same way.
But clarity requires something many people fear: slowing down. Slowing down doesn't mean thinking less. It means thinking better. It means giving your mind space to separate the signal from the noise.
One of the most powerful skills you can develop is the ability to filter your thoughts before they become words. Ask yourself what you're truly trying to say.
Strip away the extra. Remove the emotional debris. Locate the core of the message. And then only then speak from that center.
There is a remarkable shift that happens when you speak from clarity instead of pressure.
Your voice steadies.
Your delivery becomes intentional. Your ideas land with weight. People lean in rather than tune out, because people in every workplace, every conversation, every room respond to clarity with respect.
Here is a truth that professionals eventually learn. If you cannot express your point in one clean sentence, your mind hasn't finished thinking yet.
The single sentence is the test.
When you can name the idea with simplicity and precision, you've reached true understanding of your own thought.
This single sentence mastery is what separates leaders from talkers.
Clear thinkers can answer tough questions with confidence because they understand the essence of their message before diving into details. They don't hide behind complexity. They don't fill silence with unnecessary padding.
They strike directly at the heart of the idea, and that directness is magnetic. But clarity is not only intellectual, it's emotional.
Emotional noise is one of the biggest barriers to clear thought.
Fear of being judged, fear of being wrong, fear of sounding unprepared.
These fears push people into over-talking and underthinking. They rush through sentences desperately hoping speed will hide insecurity. But insecurity grows louder when clarity grows weaker.
The safest way to speak is to think clearly first. When you know the core of what you're saying, you don't fear silence.
You don't fear judgment. You don't fear interruption. You speak from grounded intention, not from panic.
Another powerful shift happens when you separate what you feel from what you mean. Feelings create noise.
Meaning creates clarity.
You can feel frustrated, confused, or pressured, but still speak with precision. The moment you recognize the difference, you reclaim control over your words.
Ask yourself these grounding questions before speaking. What do I truly want to communicate? What is the simplest, clearest version of this idea?
Am I speaking from clarity or from emotion?
These questions act like a compass that brings you back to direction and purpose. Clear thinking feels like leadership because it is leadership. People instinctively trust someone who knows what they're saying and why they're saying it. They feel safe. They feel guided. They feel like the conversation is going somewhere meaningful. And ultimately, this is what influence is. The ability to guide someone's thinking through your own clarity. Clarity sharpens your message. Clarity strengthens your presence. Clarity deepens your credibility. Clarity becomes your signature.
In the professional world, people make judgments quickly. They decide whether you are confident, capable, prepared, or trustworthy based on how clearly you express your ideas.
Clarity creates professionalism. Confusion destroys it. And the best part is this: clarity is always trainable. You can practice it every time you speak.
You can refine it every time you think. You can strengthen it every time you choose intention over impulse. The more disciplined you become at thinking before speaking, the more influential you become without even trying. Your words will land with precision. Your ideas will make sense. Your presence will feel stronger. Your confidence will become visible. Because clarity is not just a communication skill.
Clarity is a personal identity. Clarity is a way of moving through the world with purpose. Clarity is the beginning of all influence.
Speak clearly, but first think clearly.